the second straight season of the MAC tournament here in the Stroh Center. Bowling Green now taking on Ohio in the second match of today's quarterfinals of the Mid-American Conference Tournament. Yes, just a bit ago we had Miami and Toledo. Toledo coming away with a 5-set victory over the Miami Redhawks. They punched their ticket to play Ball State at 4 p.m. tomorrow, which will be broadcast on Falcon Radio. And now you're listening to Bowling Green versus Ohio here in the Stroh Center that will play Western Michigan at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Ben Korak here with Andrew Smith from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Andrew, you walked us through that first game between Toledo and Miami of Ohio, and if this game is anything like the first, it's going to be a very entertaining second match of the day.
It was an incredibly entertaining match between Toledo and Miami, and hopefully this match is just as entertaining. It's shaping up to be just that. I mean, the Falcons have been hurt by injuries and hurt by themselves all season, especially through that long stretch of just very tough matchups for them, long road stands. And it finally feels like they've sort of put something together. And on the other side of things, the Ohio Bobcats couldn't seem to put anything together in the early part of the season in non-conference play through the start of MAC play. And then all of a sudden just went on a huge winning streak. And the only team they really lost to was Ball State, who they split the series against. And they're the only MAC team to have beaten the Cardinals during conference play.
Number 3, Ohio versus number 6, Bowling Green. We'll talk about Bowling Green just a bit later because we have some good news for you on the Falcon front. But Ohio is the only team in the MAC tournament with a losing record. They're 14-16 overall, most of that being that they took a 7-game losing streak into MAC play, including being swept 4 times, and 11-game losing streak through the start of MAC play as well. They did play here in the Stroh Center in a weekend. The Falcons played with Ohio and Kent State, and they did not win that weekend either. They lost to both Bowling Green and Toledo. But since then, they went on a 12-2 run, which is an absolutely unbelievable run for this team under an interim head coach, Kenzie Brinkman, who is now the 4th head coach, or in her first season as head coach, her 4th season with the program. She was named, I believe, just yesterday as the head coach of Ohio Volleyball. So impressive there for Brinkman. You know, biggest things about Ohio, Andrew, or there is one big thing, and that's Bailey Blair, the freshman, MAC Freshman of the Year, MAC All-Freshman team, and All-MAC First Team. I mean, tough to look anywhere else but Bailey Blair when you talk about this Bobcat squad. I mean, yeah, just an incredible player. I mean, can really play, to me, anywhere on the floor. Obviously strives in that middle blocker role, but she can also be decent in the back row. She's only 6 foot, so she plays in the back row well. She plays from the service line well. She serves well, and just is an overall great player. She's really impressed me all season in the games that I've watched of her. She was even impressive in that initial first match against BG, which the Bobcats lost in 4 sets, but she impressed a lot and will most likely just come into this game, and I expect her to come in guns blazing, not hold anything back. She's going to swing on every ball that she gets. I don't imagine her she doesn't tip quite as much, doesn't roll the ball too often. She's going to swing everything through. If she goes for placement, it's going to be out of necessity. She typically just tries to power through everything. Typically a well-attacking Ohio squad, especially when you add a pretty solid attacker and Emily Waddle over the middle. She's a very good blocker, 105 total blocks on the season. An All-MAC first-team selection with her 207 kills, a pretty solid amount of aces as well. And this is an Ohio team that does a great job from offense, 1,500 kills on the season, or just over for 3rd in the Mid-American Conference, 4th in assists, 2nd in aces, although they are not a very good blocking team, 11th in total blocks, but they control the court very well, and this Ohio team can bring some offense, and they showed that over the last 8 weeks of the season or so with their 12-2 run to end it.
Yeah, this is a team that just kind of just put some things together, and that speaks to the coaching, the interim head coaching coming in, and Brinkman really just turning it around and turning the program into a force to be reckoned with. The Bobcats just the pieces fit into place, and they just really started turning things around. I think what really impressed me the most is they always had kind of that offensive talent, but it was the defense that really started to pick up. The blocking sort of amped up, especially at the end of the season. It was especially good against Ball State and the win that they had against them. And the back row play for the Bobcats is not like totally up to par, but also stats don't tell the whole story. I mean, statistically, back row not great, but also they could come out and they can make some great plays. So BG back row, statistically, doesn't seem that great, but we know that Sydney Hernandez, Avery Anders, Isabel Lauby, they can come out and they can make some plays in their roles.
Speaking of Bowling Green, we'll shift over to talking about them as this is their first match of the 2025 MAC tournament. They, in the quarterfinals, last year played in the semifinals against Western Michigan and lost to Western Michigan in 5 sets. That pretty much decided who won the MAC championship because Ball State, who is very good this year, wasn't much of a threat to Bowling Green or Western last year, and Western went on to win the 2024 MAC championship. This year we have some pretty good news. We have some very good news, and that news is that Lauren Hovey is dressed back on the floor and probably going to play in full for the Falcons today, which means that Bowling Green is back up to full health for the first time since Michigan State on September 19th in non-conference play, when that was the last time they've had both Amanda Otten and Lauren Hovey on the floor at the same time, and Otten will be setting to Hovey today.
It's been a while since you've seen both of them healthy, and they're obviously better for it because that means Jessica Andrews can come back to the middle full time where she's obviously most comfortable. And I don't think she'll miss a beat, and I doubt Lauren Hovey will miss a beat going back into her role on the right side.
Yeah, definitely some positive there between having both of them back. Lauren Hovey did play both matches against Ball State earlier on in the season, a 5-set loss for the Falcons and then a 3-set loss for the Falcons here in the Stroh Center. Amanda Otten was injured for that series, so they didn't play together. And Otten was injured from Toledo to Toledo game, missed about, I believe, six and a half games while being injured. Lauren Hovey has also, not played in full against Ball State, but she did have to set a little bit because Amanda Otten was injured, which is not a problem today because Amanda Otten pretty much within the last week or so has gotten back to full strength and has set completely for the Falcons. And Andrew, you were there for all 3 of them. They've gone on a 3-game winning streak with a 5-set win over Akron and then 2 wins up in Buffalo against Buffalo, and they're at a pretty good hot spell coming into the MAC tournament now.
They really did. They had played especially well against Buffalo. Really eliminated some of the, you're not going to totally eliminate attacking errors, but they eliminated a lot of the attacking errors, the unnecessary ones that they were getting. Really just reconstructed this offense to work without Lauren Hovey, and Amanda Otten coming back to full health has really obviously been the reason for that. She's able to block again. Buffalo really tried to target her they have some great outsides, especially with Emerson Matthews on the Bulls. They tried to target Otten on those attacks, and she shut them down, especially in that second match and then the last set of the first match. Just repeatedly shut them down, and having her back in full force. We talked about Kelsey Smith a ton and how much she does for her team. Amanda Otten essentially does the same thing, playing basically every single piece of volleyball for the Falcons. I think Smith probably has the edge on her in the back row play of being a better back row defender, but Amanda Otten is certainly the better blocker out of the 2.
2 teams that we've seen today with unbelievable setters in Toledo and Bowling Green, and 2 teams we'll see today with 2-setter systems in Ohio and Miami of Ohio, although Miami of Ohio with their 2-setter system did take a loss to Toledo earlier on today, just a little bit ago. So if you're a Falcon fan, you're hoping that the 2-setter system does not spell good for this Ohio team. It will also be maybe a little bit weird to see the Falcons back at full health because you have Jessica Andrews, who earned her way onto the All-MAC first team, playing majority of the time from the right side with Lauren Hovey being injured. Andrews also a super blocker, but listed as a middle blocker on All-MAC first team is kind of, it doesn't tell you the story of her season. Just as well, Avery Hobson was named to the 2025 All-MAC first team. So the Falcons have 2 first-team All-MAC players. And then when you add into that, you add in Lauren Hovey, who was Player of the Year last year for the Mid-American Conference, and you add in Amanda Otten, who had a bid for Setter of the Year before her injury, and then a bid for Setter of the Year last year as well. You've got pretty much 4 all-MAC first-team players on the floor for the Falcons, and that's going to be a big struggle for Ohio today to try and limit as much as they can.
Yeah, this Falcon team coming in as the 6th seed, but I think all the other teams in the tournament know that they're not truly a 6th seed. They know how dangerous the Falcons can be, and kind of once you come into the tournament, the mentality definitely for all these teams is that the records are 0-0. The seedings don't matter. Go out and win. And so the Bobcats are not going to come out and be, taking the Falcons lightly, and the Falcons most certainly aren't going to be taking the Bobcats lightly at all, even though they beat them earlier this season. This is 2 teams that are going to be as competitive as possible. They're going to play their best volleyball. We just saw the best volleyball that Toledo and Miami have both played all season. They went to 5 sets. It was a great match. I expect to see the same here in this one.
Andrew, we had keys to the Miami and Toledo match that we were pretty spot on for. It was all about blocking all the time in that game through all 5 sets. You look to today to the Falcons and Ohio, who have definitely different identities than they had earlier in the season here in the Stroh Center when they matched up against each other. Just what do you want to see from both teams today to try and have success in their first round of the MAC tournament?
Well, I think if you're Ohio, you have to, as much as possible, stay in system, because BG, if they force you out of system, they're going to block you all day long. They're a great blocking team. They dropped to 2nd in the MAC in blocks, but they're still a great blocking squad, especially with Jessica Andrews back in the middle and Amanda Otten back at full health. So they need to make sure they're staying in system as much as possible. When they get out of system, they have to try to get their hitters to work around the block as much as possible. So again, I guess the key is kind of that block for Bowling Green, but really it's how Ohio responds to it. And then for Bowling Green, it's going to be how do you fall back into place? Amanda Otten and Lauren Hubby haven't been on the floor together since non-conference play against Michigan State. How do you, I'm sure they can fall back into step, but how do you do that right away? Like starting first set, which they struggled at all season long, is coming out and playing well immediately. Can they do that in a shifted lineup with Lauren Hubby back in it?
Bowling Green and Ohio. Ohio the number 3 seed, Bowling Green the number 6 seed, both kind of in the same or similar spots to their season where, Ohio was very good down the stretch, 12-2 down the stretch of the backside of MAC play for them, and Bowling Green with a 3-game win streak as they're back to at least all their players on the court. Whether or not Lauren Hovey is going to be limited, whether or not Amanda Otten will be limited is up to coaching decisions at the time. But the first season of Alex Del Piombo, the Falcons look for a first-round victory today. I do also want to compare this to 2 years ago for the Falcons. And, you always, when you talk about stuff on the air, you always put things up to jinx. 2 years ago, in 2023, the last time Bowling Green made the MAC tournament final, the Falcons dealt with injuries during the regular season, entered into the Mid-American Conference, but kind of backed their way in as the 6th seed, ended up going up to Kalamazoo, beating number 3 Ball State, beating number 2 Buffalo, and then losing to number 1 Western Michigan in the title match. Well, the Falcons play number 3 today. If they win, they play number 2 tomorrow, and if they win that, most likely they'll play number 1 Ball State on Sunday. We will have coverage of all of those games here on Falcon Radio, but very similar trajectories for the team in 2023 and in 2025. And that's interesting to look for, considering, Andrew, that you're going to see the first MAC tournament coaching by Alex Del Piombo in her career.
Yeah, it will be very interesting. Del Piombo has had, talk about a tough first year to be a head coach. Has all the challenges in the world thrown at her and has responded well, and that's a credit to not just her but the rest of the Bowling Green coaching staff and how well they've done that they're in this position. Yes, they needed Toledo to get a win over Akron to be here, but they've really fought and earned this spot in the tournament. It would have been very embarrassing to miss the tournament and have it be at home and just be watching from the sidelines. So they really fought to be here, and they don't plan on going home in the first round.
Second tournament in a row that Bowling Green has hosted. Number 3 Ohio against number 6 Bowling Green here in the Stroh Center. You're listening to the MAC Volleyball Tournament on on Falcon Radio.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU Student Media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
When I smoke weed, I get lost in the music. I like to isolate each instrument. The rhythmic bass, the harmonies on the piano, the sticky melody.
Hey, careful, babe. There's someone crossing the street.
Sorry, I didn't see him there.
If you feel different, you drive different. Don't drive high. It's dangerous and illegal everywhere. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Emmettith and Nicholas.
Congratulations on getting your diploma.
You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
There's danger out there. It lurks on highways and quiet neighborhood streets. It's more likely to kill you than a shark and more terrifying than the biggest snake. Distracted driving claims lives every day. Every notification, swipe, social post, video, or selfie while driving risks your life. So while you might think public speaking or the zombie apocalypse is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back here in the Stroh Center, the home of the 2025 Mid-American Conference Volleyball Tournament. Ben Korak here with Andrew Smith from the Falcon Media Sports Network for number 6 Bowling Green's matchup against number 3 Ohio. Andrew, you want to walk us through the Ohio Bobcats starting loss?
Absolutely, I do. Kendall Hickey is going to be Starting at the defensive specialist position for OU, Gentry Brown is going to be an outside hitter for the Bobcats. Maddie Long, another outside hitter, the freshman from Vincent, Ohio. Sienna Lapsley is going to, Emily Waddle is going to be a middle blocker alongside Bailey Blair at the middle position. Bailey Blair, the freshman that we talked about quite a bit in the pregame from Louisville, Kentucky. Also in the starting lineup, Darby Ricketts will be at the defensive special position. Also plays on the outside. Sierra Evans, a sophomore from Silver Spring, Maryland, is going to be another hitter for the Bobcats. And then rounding out the lineup is the setter, Bryn Yankee, who will be the setter from sophomore Westfield, Wisconsin.
We'll start with the most important on the Bowling Green side. Maybe not most important, but the best to hear. And starting today for Bowling Green is senior opposite hitter Lauren Hovey out of Waterloo, Ontario. Also playing today for the Falcons, starting at setter, the junior out of Batavia, Illinois, is Amanda Otten. Sydney Hernandez starts at the libero for the Falcons, the sophomore out of Bloomington, Illinois. Jessica Andrews back to the middle blocker position, the senior from Guelph, Ontario. Also playing middle blocker is Helen Wilford, the redshirt sophomore out of Greenville, North Carolina. And the outside hitters for the Falcons today, Avery Hobson, who along with Jessica Andrews earned All-MAC first team this year, the junior out of Fishers, Indiana. And Anastasia Bozic, the freshman outside hitter out of Pančevo, Serbia. She will start at the outside hitter position, most likely on the back row for the Falcons today. Bowling Green and Ohio set to have first serve here in just a little bit. Andrew, we have two teams here that are in very different spots than they were when they played earlier on in the season. Literally the first game of Mid-American Conference play 17 games ago now. This will be the 18th since that game. Just what do you think the biggest changes have been for both Ohio and Bowling Green between then and now?
I think the biggest change I'm going to start with the Falcons, has been just how much the lineup has gone through of obviously the injuries, but just like how many players have gone in and out of the starting lineup and in and out of the lineup in general. It's switched around so much. Helen Wilford is at the second middle blocker position next to Jessica Andrews. That could change by the end of this match. We could see the freshman of Kendall Williams come in and be the second middle blocker. We could see Isabel Lauby check into the game for Avery Hobson when she has to go in the back row. We're going to see a lot of lineup changes, and that's been really the story of the season for the Falcons, is how much the lineups had to change. And then for the Bobcats, I think the big change for them, might have been just their confidence. It feels like with an interim head coach and a lot of new faces on the squad, it just feels like they lacked confidence, lacked fluidity, lacked just an overall sense of identity. And it feels like they've solidified that, and they know what their identity is. They know how to win, and that confidence is now through the roof.
Ohio, like Miami of Ohio, in the last match that we called here on Falcon Radio, relying a lot on youth, and the reason I say that, senior setter Kendall White out of Gahanna, Ohio, and the transfer from Kent State, is not starting. The only other senior, Leah Rogers, the middle blocker, is also not starting. You're starting a roster of a couple of juniors, some sophomores, and some freshmen as well, whereas the Falcons are relying a lot on their veteranship with Lauren Hovey as a senior, Jessica Andrews as a senior, Helen Wilford in her third year with the Falcons, Avery Hobson in her third season of NCAA volleyball. She's been very influential to the Falcons this season. Amanda Otten in her third year with Bowling Green. So two different looks to these two different sides. Can't say that you don't feel like Bowling Green's definitely more talented, and with Lauren Hovey on the floor, maybe a bit more favored in today's match.
But speaking of talent, Bailey Blair, we've mentioned her some of the pregame.
Unbelievable.
Just an unbelievable player. I mean, you come in as a freshman, undersized middle, and you play the way she's playing. I mean, you deserve to be freshman of the year. You deserve to be on the All-MAC first team as a freshman, and she's already obviously on the All-MAC freshman team. So just a great, talented player, and she's only going to get better.
Amanda Otten serves first. Bailey Blair with the first rip, and Hobson blocks it. Hernandez a nice dig there. Otten has to out of system set, and Hobson has to roll it back over. Back to the Bobcats, to the right side. Bailey Blair getting two touches early. Hernandez digs it out. A net violation against Ohio, and Bowling Green will take the first point of the match today.
Yeah, Bailey Blair got caught there into the net, swung through a little bit too far, caught the bottom half of it.
7:16, the start time of today's matchup. Diving to make the play is Kendall Hickey, who is able to keep the ball up. It's a free play back to the Falcons, and Anastasia Bozic mishandles on the back row, and it falls in for an Ohio point.
Maybe a little bit of nerves come out of the freshman of Bozic and just mishandling that one a little bit, but she'll settle in. I'm confident. She's been such a steady hand for the Falcons all season.
Service error going to Ohio there as Maddie Long sends her serve long. She's been pretty solid serving this season, but does have a tendency for errors. 58, now that 59 service errors on the season to 32 aces, which is the leader in aces for Ohio. Avery Anders, another player now for the Falcons that threatens service errors every time she steps up to the line. It's set up, the attack from the middle. Sierra Evans gets the kill, and it's right on the sideline for a beautiful attack from the middle blocker.
Really not much you can do about that one. A good block attempt by Helen Wilford taking away her straight, but just goes cross with it and places it well.
Another service error for Ohio. They've given Bowling Green 2 points now.
And, you know, you mentioned the service errors for the Bobcats. Sydney Hernandez now stepping up to the service line. Her and Avery Anders just absolutely had themselves a day from the service line both times against Buffalo.
Bryn Yonke sets the middle. The swing from Emily Waddle will go into the net and not clear the tape. So Bowling Green will take another point. Emily Waddle, the All-MAC first team selection as a junior this year. 207 kills, 105 total blocks. Definitely the leading blocker for this Ohio team. No other blocker above 60. Here's Otten to center, back to Hovey. Hovey gets a kill. Welcome back, Lauren Hovey.
Yeah, you wonder why, maybe if you haven't watched the Falcons during non-conference over the past 2 seasons, you wonder why is Lauren Hovey such a key piece. There's just something about the way that she hits the ball versus when somebody else does it. You can tell there's a difference.
Gentry Brown's attack poked back over by Jessica Anders, playing back in her natural position at middle blocker, and gives Bowling Green a 6-2 lead off of that. Technically a block.
Technically a block from her, really more of, you're right, just a tip back, but just hangs in the air so long with how tall she is and able to put that one back down.
Almost an overpass there from Ohio. They have to dump the ball back over. Here's Hernandez to Otten. Otten will set flat-footed to Bozic. Bozic a rip, and it's overpassed again by Ohio to keep the ball up. Here's Otten back to Andrews. Andrews from the middle, and she gets a kill as well. 7-2, the Falcons lead.
Seen a lot more of that 3-ball from the Falcons, that 31 quick to Jessica Andrews as the season's gone on. Definitely something they've practiced. They've also done it to Kendall Williams as well. Expect to see a lot more of that in the match and as it goes on.
Gentry Brown, her ball is slowed down. Bozic with a diving pancake play to keep it alive toward the net, and no Falcon there to keep it up. So 7-3, the Falcons lead. Bailey Blair, the freshman middle blocker and right side, will go back to serve. You have to keep her in the match at all times. Not the greatest server this season. Otten reverses field to Hovey. Hovey with the right hand, and she pokes it through. The left-handed senior right side hitter.
She is.
I don't think I've seen her get a kill with the right hand.
Unbelievable. That was incredible. Ball's too close to the net. She can't swing it over cleanly with the left, so she switches to the right and still somehow manages to get some power off of it and get a kill.
Hovey now serves from the right side. More than likely will not reach the record that she was chasing this season, and that was 47 aces this year to take the all-time career ace record. And here's an attack from the left side from Ohio that it'll find its way to the floor. Gentry Brown with credit for that.
Brown is another player. We talk a lot about Bailey Blair, but Gentry Brown is a great player on the outside for the Bobcats. She's got 252 kills this season. Not a great hitting percentage, but just really is such a backbone for this team.
Definitely is relied on by the Bobcats. Poked over by Ohio. It's going to be a violation against the Bobcats. And the Falcons will take another point back, 9-4.
Kendall White got caught over the net there reaching for that ball. Easy call by the officials.
Here's Anastasia Bozic to serve for the Falcons. Started her playing career with Bowling Green as more or less a serve and back row specialist as an outside hitter. And then Andrews kind of worked her way into more of an offensive role and takes the service error there. But she's been very valuable for Bowling Green all over the floor.
I really like the way she's played all season. She's basically playing all the way around for the Falcons now, but has made some incredible plays and has played some incredible matches as just a freshman. And she's only going to get better as the years go on. The really only possible complaint you could have about her is that she doesn't have a high enough vertical jump on the outside, but other than that, she places the ball so well when she swings.
Something that can be improved as the season goes on. A service ace there for Jessica Andrews, serving for almost a full season this year for the first time in her career, and a timeout will be called by Ohio. 11-5, Bowling Green leads number 3 Ohio here in the first match of the MAC volleyball tournament for Bowling Green and Ohio. You're listening to the MAC tournament on Falcon Radio.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Mom was always very organized, but my sister and I noticed she started to forget things.
Telling my girls about my Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard.
But Mom's early detection gave us time to make a plan.
My sister and I were there for Mom and each other.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Back here in the Stroh Center, Bowling Green at home for the second straight season in the 2025 MAC Volleyball Championship. Ben Korak here with Andrew Smith from the Falcon Media Sports Network. We'll have coverage on Falcon Radio of every match this weekend, whether Bowling Green's in it or not. Tomorrow at 4 and tomorrow at 7 are the two matches of the semifinal, and then Sunday at 4 will be the championship match. For all the recaps of those matches, go to bgfalconmedia.com and BG_FMSN on Twitter, and also follow BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook as well. Here's Jessica Andrews to serve. Her ace forced a timeout by Ohio just a second ago, and there's a nice push by Olivia Gardner from the right side. She takes a point back for the Bobcats off of the block.
This one, I mean, Ohio, they just have so many offensive weapons, and really the defense for them has ramped up over the course of the season. That's where that confidence has been built from Olivia Gardner, another great player that's played some valuable sets for the Bobcats and gotten them some great kills.
Bryn Yonke serves. Ball back to Hobson. Hobson with a blast, and it's dug out. There's a joust at the net onto the Bowling Green side. Wilford in attack is dug out. Yonke resets to the middle. Sierra Evans is kept up. Slowed down from the Falcon block there, and attack down the line for Hobson, and she misses the court wide. 11-7. Bowling Green leads. Avery Hobson gets her first couple of swings and doesn't land them.
Hobson needs to find her rhythm in this offense. Sometimes it takes her a minute to essentially warm up her engine. But once she does, she just ends up hitting to really every place on the floor she can. Against Buffalo, she scored in every possible way she could, going down line, going cross, going seam, rolls, tips, swings, everything.
4 service errors now for Ohio. Ball back, and the serve back to the Falcons. Bailey Blair tips it over. Otten will reset to Hobson. Hobson pushes it over the net, narrowly avoids a collision with the net. Here's Blair, cross court, missed it, and the Falcons take a point back.
Blair on that slide, typically incredibly deadly, and you can't rule that attack out if you're the Falcons. She might have missed it there, but she'll put that one down if she gets a little bit better of a set. And you just can't count out that attack.
Yonke to Evans. Evans kind of pushes it over, and down off the block of Wilford and Hovey as they took steps toward the middle of the court.
The middle attack obviously is the Bobcats' best weapon by far. I mean, so many talented hitters from the middle. They're leading attackers, which is unlike any other team in the MAC, are middle blockers. Obviously the first one being Blair.
Houghton reverses back to Hovey. Hovey just misses the court. Oh, she got a touch though. She missed the court long, but got the touch at the net. So Hovey will come up with another kill. The leader for the Falcons, she's 3 for 3. And now comes Avery Anders back to serve, in for Avery Hobson. Anders, a solid season this season, 19 aces on 45 service errors. Last year, 19 aces on 43 service errors. So pretty much the same, but has got so much better in defense. Here's Blair, off of the shoulder of Otten. Whistle blows and the point toward Ohio as they stop play in the middle. Now to serve, wearing a different colored jersey, is Darby Ricketts, who tapes it, and it falls right over in front of Sydney Hernandez. And Ohio adds their first ace to 4 service errors on the match.
Yeah, if you take away the service errors, this game is tied up. Ohio needs to clean those things up, those mistakes, and they're back in this one, but there's another one there.
Heck of a decision there by Avery Anders to let it go inches long of that back line. No challenge coming from Ohio. And Kenzie Brinkman, who is coaching her first game as head coach of Ohio Volleyball. She's coached all season as interim, and then yesterday was named the head coach of the Bobcats. As here's a swing, kind of in a slide, but in the middle of the court. Emily Waddle, the 6-foot middle blocker, and All-MAC first team selection.
That's a really cool play there. You get that movement of the switch of the right side in the middle. And Waddell just makes that attack work.
Another service error for Ohio. That's their 6th.
And that is killing them right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're leading aside from those service errors. 16-12. The Falcons lead right now. Lauren Hovey to serve again for Bowling Green. Talked a little bit before, but she needed 47 aces this season to be first in Bowling Green history in career aces. Here's Andrews. Andrews a slap on the overpass. It's back to the Falcons. Otten reverses. Back to Andrews on the slide. Jessica Andrews fires it through the seam and gets Bowling Green a 17-12 lead.
And that's what you like to see after the Falcons kind of went quiet offensively. Jessica Andrews on the slide, making it happen once again.
They've got so many arms at the Falcons now with 2 outside hitters in rotation, as well as Andrews in the middle and Lauren Hovey back on the floor. Here's a bump set to Gentry Brown. Bit of an overpass here from Hovey with 2 hands. To recenter back to Ohio. Brown a second attack and splits the difference between Hernandez and Anders. A nice attack by Gentry Brown from the left side to eat up the Bowling Green defensive specialists. Belle Laube now in the match for Bowling Green. Tori Kildo in for Ohio. And serving is Brown. Gentry Brown, 20 aces on the match, or on the season, I should say, and now picks up her 38th service error at 7 now for Ohio.
I mean, I'm running out of things to say. You can't
mean,
have 7 service errors in the first set. That's insane.
Feels kind of how it was for Bowling Green a couple of matches there where they were taking so many service errors.
Yeah, it more felt that way with the attacking errors.
Yeah. Back now to the left side, the swing from Kildo. It misses the court long. Bowling Green takes another point there. They have a 19-13 lead on the doorstep of 20 points. Only 1 timeout called by Ohio. That was pretty early, and now they use their second. Kenzie Brinkman wants to talk things over. The Falcons with a 6-point lead over number 3 Ohio here. Number 6 against number 3 in the quarterfinal of the MAC Volleyball Championship. You're listening to Bowling Green Volleyball on Falcon Radio.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
BGSU hockey travels to St. Paul, Minnesota for a rematch of the 2025 Mason Cup semifinal game against the St. Thomas Tommies at the brand new Lee and Penny Anderson Arena on November 21st. Join Falcon Media Sports Network's Nathan Burkett for Puck Drop at 8:07 p.m. with in-studio pregame show with Nate Hinners and Daniel Reidenauer at 7:45 on WBGU 88.1 FM, the home of Falcon hockey.
Back here in the Stroh Center, the second match of the quarterfinals here in the MAC Volleyball Championship this weekend, hosted by Bowling Green, who kind of snuck in to the number 6 seed with wins over Akron and Buffalo, the final 3 matches of the season, and beat out Akron for the final spot. There's Anastasia Bozic back to serve for the Falcons, the freshman outside hitter, been very valuable for Bowling Green this year. Set back to the right side, Gardner with a rip, and she falls it off the hand of a Falcon and out long.
And these Ohio hitters, so good at hitting around the block, hitting through the block, taking advantage of the Bowling Green block there, going off the fingertips, putting it over Bozic's head.
Getting some talking here with the official by Ohio before we can get a serve from Emily Waddle, the junior middle blocker. And now we have the green light to go. There's the Bobcats' star middle blocker to Hobson. Otten back sets to Andrews. Andrews on the slide. 20-14, the Falcons lead. That right side for Bowling Green's just been so good so far.
That's such a powerful swing from Jessica Andrews. Oh my goodness, what a rip.
And especially when you know she's not the only one from the right side the ball's going to, which is how it was when Hovey was not playing for Bowling Green. Otten sets to the left side. Hobson is not dug out. A try on the back row by Gentry Brown, but a big swing by Hobson finds its way through to the floor eventually, and 21-14 is the score.
Yeah, if that block is not, if you don't have 2 blockers on Avery Hobson, she's getting the kill.
Getting it.
Or she's making it really difficult for the defense to dig it out.
I mean, does that not go for all the Falcon hitters, though?
That is true, but I meant more so for Hobson, because Hobson does tend to get blocked a lot sitting in that outside position.
Livia Gardner almost gets dug out by Belle Laube on the back row, but she finds her way through for her 3rd kill of the match on her 4th attack. Another assist for Kendall White.
I think both of these teams would love to get more blocks on the board. I mean, the Falcons have that one that was more of a tip over really from Jessica Andrews, but both these teams really want to get in the block column officially.
Yankee serves, an overpass from the Falcons, and point goes to Ohio, 21-16. Ohio climbs within 5. First reception error of the game for Bowling Green. I believe the other aces for Ohio were given to the team. Bozic digs it out. Otten from the right side to the left side. Hobson, misses the court long.
BG looking for a touch
pretty close there. On the touch. And Del Piombo will grab the green card.
Not going to use it, though.
Yeah.
Keeps it.
She heard one word from the official and then put it back. Don't know what that word was. Yankee serves again. Hobson can't dig it out. A very nice ace there from Bryn Yankee. And now within 3 are the Bobcats, and Bowling Green will take their first time out of the set. 21-18 will stay here through this timeout. Ohio's been able to climb back into this one. Pretty clear why they've been playing well in this 3rd set is they've pretty much not subsided with the Falcons with a couple of times pretty sizable leads over the Bobcats, and they just really haven't taken a step back. They've climbed back in at every juncture.
Yeah, and the Bobcats have really done a great job of that all season. They've been trailing in quite a few matches and just bounced back so quickly. And the Falcons have been a team that they haven't necessarily given up the leads a lot for it to be at all concerning, but they've also allowed teams to get back in it and made it at least scary, to say the least, and made it a lot more close than it should have been.
And again, this is the first MAC match we'll play this season, or we'll call this season, where we see both Amanda Otten and Lauren Hovey on the floor. So there's a difference in how the team operates when Andrews moves back to the middle. Hovey now on the right side, and Otten has 3 pretty much all MAC first team hitters to work through, and with Hovey on the right side, Andrews in the middle, and Hobson on the left. Bryn Yonke, the sophomore setter, will wait for the green light to serve. She's got 30 aces and 40 errors on the season, approaching 500 assists. She needs 46 today, which in a 2-setter system, not very likely, as she splits with Kendall White, the senior setter. But she was the starter, and she sends her service long, and another service error going to the Bobcats.
8 service errors in the first set is it can't be a number that the Bobcats hope to replicate.
Yeah, it's in the first set alone is borderline unforgivable.
I mean, they're out killing the Falcons. They have 11 kills. The Falcons have 7.
Bailey Blair gets blocked at the net. It's kept up by Ohio. They get it over in just 3 touches. Here's Otten to the middle. Wilford can't find their way to the floor. It's free balled back over from Ohio. Here's Otten to the left side. Hobson with a blast is dug out. Ball is kept up. Blair tumbles it over. Back left corner where the Falcons not standing. And a nice kill there by the freshman. A heads-up play to find the open spot on the floor, and Bailey Blair tumbles it in.
Just so much topspin on that ball that it just manages to cling to the corner. Amanda Otten and Bojet, I think, both upset that neither one of them went for that.
Hobson digs out the serve. Otten back set to the right side. Hovey gets it, and she continues a hot spell. She's 4 for 4 in her return to the Bowling Green Falcons.
It's just impressive how good Lauren Hovey is. I mean, the most consistent hitter on the floor for the Falcons at all times.
Floating serve there for Avery Anders that sent long in the back line, 23-20. Bowling Green leads Ohio.
Avery Anders really improved her serving all season. Still, like you mentioned a little bit earlier, victim to a lot of service errors, but has really just improved her serving over the course of the season.
Otten sets from the left side to the left side. Bozic goes off the block, and it's kept up by the Bobcats. Here's a swing now for Gentry Brown. She misses going over the net by about 5 feet. And Bowling Green's at set point here in the first.
If the Bobcats eliminate their own mistakes, they make things a lot more competitive here. And I really think that I don't know about eliminating mistakes, but they will certainly get rid of a lot of them come second set.
Yonke sets up right side. Bailey Blair misses the court long. No touch from the Falcons, and Bowling Green wins the first set 25-20. The number 6 Falcons with a 1-0 set lead over the number 3 Ohio Bobcats. You're listening to Bowling Green Volleyball here on Falcon Radio.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces weekly short-form and long-form social media pieces for in-season sports all year long. Make sure to check out at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and at BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to view the content.
Imagine home. The smell of coffee, the sound of a lawnmower, the sun's warmth on your face. Free to be yourself, surrounded by love that helps you grow. This is a place to call home. That's an American dream we all deserve. But in 50% of U.S. states, you could legally be denied housing if you are LGBTQ+. Get the facts and hear real stories at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously, the best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out, because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Bowling Green has a 1-set lead over Ohio as we head into the second set here. Ben Korak, myself, along with Andrew Smith here from the Falcon Media Sports Network, who will call every Bowling Green match this weekend, along with all of the 2025 MAC Volleyball Championship, whether Bowling Green or not. Earlier today, Toledo took a 5-set victory over Miami of Ohio. Miami of Ohio, the 5 seed, is eliminated. Toledo, the 4 seed, moves on to play Ball State, the 1 seed, tomorrow. And now Bowling Green looking to play, I suppose, upset against Ohio, considering there's a 3 seed difference with Ohio the 3 and Bowling Green the 6. But with the Falcons back up to full health, Andrew, certainly feels like Bowling Green should be the favorite today.
Yeah, it really is unexpected that Lauren Hovey is back in the lineup for this game and assumedly for the tournament. And it really just changes things around completely, because the Falcons go from being a 6 seed trying to claw their way into some upsets to being, honestly, you're right, Ben, the favorites in this match against an Ohio Bobcats team that didn't make the tournament last year, and going up against a Falcons team that was 16-2 when Lauren Hovey was leading the charge.
Assuming health, most likely Lauren Hovey and Amanda Otten would have made the All-MAC first team, but didn't, and Avery Hobson and Jessica Andrews did instead. Here's a blast from Hobson, finds the seam toward the back of the court, stays on the line side, and Bowling Green takes the first point, 2 sets in a row.
That's what I mean by Hobson gets it done in any way she can, goes line there, putting it over the defender's head instead of trying to go cross like she did last set and find the kill there.
Anders to serve. Kept up in the air by Maddie Long, but tough one, and it's forced a dump play over by Ohio. Here's Otten to set back. Hovey off the block, off the pin. Bowling Green takes the point off of Lauren Hovey. She's now 5 for 5, is Lauren Hovey in her return.
She's so quick with her swing. I don't know if that makes any sense. Her arm comes, yeah, her arm comes around so quickly. There's not a lot of wind up.
Yankee sets up the middle. Sierra Evans is blocked. Caught a lot of the net, too. Here's Bailey Blair. Missed the touch. Sent it long, although Ohio wants a touch. Kenzie Brinkman really wants a touch. She's not going over to the green card yet, and will not use the touch this early in the second set. I don't know. What did you see, Andrew?
I did not think there was a touch. I thought that was the right call, but I think there was a case.
Overpass there from Ohio. Helen Wilford reaches over. Ohio then begging for another call. Wanted a reach over by Wilford, but I don't think she broke the plane of the net either.
No, Wilford hasn't been, Wilford's gotten close a lot this year, but has not been called for it yet, so that's pretty consistent with what other officials have been calling.
Yankee to the left side. Long will get it to land. Taking advantage of the back row again. Not too much blocking coming from these two sides either, Andrew. With Bowling Green block being a little quiet and Same from Ohio, although they're second to last in total blocks in the Mid-American Conference. Here's Otten, bump set to Bozic. Bozic gets it backcourt, and Bozic gets a kill. Out of system, well, in system there for the Falcons, but a tough bump set for Otten.
Bozic is just very great. Like, it's a lot of great placement. It's not a ton of power. I mean, sometimes she can get that on her swings, but most of the time it's just fantastic placement, and she utilizes it there, rolling that shot over between the blockers and into the back row.
She's kind of athlete, just so frustrating that you don't think she's the biggest, the quickest, and yet is somehow such a great player. Here's Bailey Blair. She's blocked. Otten back to the left side. Bozic doesn't get it over. Maybe a touch from Ohio, but the point will end up to the green and white anyway. 5-2, Bowling Green leads.
Really good job by Ohio keeping Bowling Green in check, forcing them to turn to Bozic there instead of being able to go back to Lauren Hovey.
Otten back sets. Hovey down the line. A touch against Ohio as it was traveling way long at the back line, and Bowling Green gets another point.
Lauren Hovey coming back from injury, just not missing a beat. Like, this is incredibly impressive. I mean, you miss that much of time. You play 2 matches in all of conference play, and you come back like nothing happened.
Dug out by Kendall Hickey. Kind of a low attack there for Bailey Blair, who was just trying to get it up over the block and over the net, and she couldn't do it, so Bowling Green takes another point. And Ohio continuing to be plagued by errors, not from the service line now, but just making mistakes on first and second touches.
Yeah, Ohio is almost...
There's an ace for Lauren Hovey.
Yeah, Ohio just seems to be playing scared, playing nervous. They're not playing like themselves. They're not playing to their identity. And a major part of their identity is funneling everything inside the pins. And what I mean by that is like keeping everything towards the middle of the court. They utilize their middles in a lot of different ways across that middle section of the court, really. And they just haven't really done any of that. They did a couple times with success, but haven't been able to do it, and that's partly the Falcons are keeping them away from there, but that's also partly because of the errors that they're making.
8-2, Bowling Green leads. Ohio calls a timeout as 10 points in. They've only taken 2, and they've struggled a little bit in this set. 1 for 6 on attacks with 2 errors, but they have not had any aces, and they've only had 1 total block, has Ohio. So they just haven't really been able to score any points besides what Bowling Green has given them. And they've made some mental errors in the meantime. Bowling Green led in attacking in the first, only because they had less errors. But Ohio had 4 more kills than Bowling Green did, and now trail by 4 here early in the second set. Lauren Hovey will go back to serve. Her 24th ace of the season yesterday. And coming into today's match, she only had 49 sets played and 24 aces. Do the math, and if she was healthy this year, she'd be the all-time career aces leader for Bowling Green, cementing her in the record books, at least for a while. She gets 2 in a row now, coming out of the timeout. That's 25 on the season for Hovey.
Wow. Just such a great server from the line. Second best server on this team, Sydney Hernandez. 37 service aces this year. She leads the squad in Hovey's absence, essentially. But you have to wonder how many Hovey would have gotten had she played the full season and been able to play all the way through MAC play.
Good wipe there by Bailey Blair on the right side to utilize the block and go out to the side. She will check off. Kendall White will check on, the setter. Transfer from Kent State after 2 seasons with the Golden Flashes and then a year in 2022 at Liberty, the senior. 98 sets played this season, been very influential. There's Amanda Otten with the setter dump. Bowling Green takes a 10-3 lead.
it's so difficult to defend.
Nearly impossible.
It's basically just like somebody reaching up and tipping a ball over because it's so unexpected, and she's typically uncontested because the blockers don't know it's coming.
To the left side, Gentry Brown rolls it over. Laube keeps it up. A middle attack from Andrews. She just pokes it over, and it's back to Bowling Green off the block. A block there from the middle by Emily Waddle. Spins out off the pin and out the side. Bowling Green takes their 3rd point in a row.
A great back row attack by Anastasia Bozic. She's been getting better and better at that as the season has gone on. Just improved all around, and you expect that out of a freshman, but you've seen it the most in her because she's played the most out of any of the freshmen.
Kendall Williams also one that's been very influential, but her time has been cut down to 0 considering middle blocker position has been closed off with Andrews moving back there. An attack here from the right side will not fall its way, and 12-3, Bowling Green leads after taking that point. Bozic goes back to serve. Panjevo, Serbia native and a freshman here with Bowling Green. Set up to the middle. Waddle with an attack. 2 touches from the Falcons. Neither one of them get the ball in the air. Ohio takes the point. Emily Waddle. Back to serve is Gentry Brown. Brown transferred from Oakland where she played 2 seasons. Broken 8-match played ace streak last game against Western Michigan. There's a point to Ohio on couple in a row now to the Bobcats. Hobson up. Otten centers back to Hobson. Hobson's blocked. Gardner and Waddle in the middle.
This is what I mean by Avery Hobson gets blocked. A great job by the Bobcats reading that. They knew where it was going because of the great serve.
Otten setter dumps behind herself. Tori Kildo keeps the ball up. Here's Gardner off of the Bowling Green back line and out of play. That's a pretty good run the Bobcats are putting together here. 4 in a row now. After Bowling Green led 12-3, it's 12-7.
If you're BG, you got to cut this off quickly because if they gain too much momentum, it's going to come back to bite you. And if you're the Bobcats, you want to keep this going. These are great serves coming out of Gentry Brown here.
For Ohio as well, doing it with much better attacking. 3 kills of the last couple of points for the Bobcats. Tough for the Bobcats as well, the number 3 team playing the number 6 team, but normally you don't have the number 6 team as the home team. And that's what Bowling Green has now, a large crowd advantage Bowling Green has. Otten sets from the right side to the left side. Hobson gets a swing, and Ohio can't keep the ball up. Diving all the way almost into the bleachers was Kendall Hickey, the libero. That was a big point back to the Falcons. Jessica Andrews, who serves very well for Bowling Green, but hasn't too much in her career for the Falcons. Ball up, Olivia Gardner. Her cut shot misses the court.
A lot of these attacking errors, if the Bobcats just take a little bit off them or have a little bit more accuracy, they're kills, and they're honestly not necessarily leading this set, but it's a lot closer right now.
Dug out, the recenter. Gardner gets the ball up in the air. Otten to Hobson. Hobson goes high off the block. Up is Kildo. Now to the right side again. Everything flowing through Gardner now. She can't find another kill on another attack. Ball kept in the air. Ohio will dump it back over to the Falcons.
Really
Otten
impressive
with an attack. Kept
really
up
impressive
in the air
by the Bobcats to get that one over.
Yeah, Kendall White on her setup. And from a middle attack, I believe it was Kildo. Nope, it's Emily Waddle that puts it past the Falcons. Both teams kind of chaotic there and way out of formation.
A great job at the Bobcats to turn that into a point.
Ball back to the Falcons off of the serve. Hernandez bump set to the left side. Hobson can't tumble it in. Now to the left side for Ohio. Taken up by Kildo and peeled up by the Falcons. Bozic pokes it into the middle of the court. Technically a back row attack for Anastasia Bozic. We got a point back to the Falcons, who lead 15-8.
That was less of a pipe and more of a full-on Bic shot from Bojet.
Not a full swing either. Ball back up. Otten to the left side. Hobson. A lot of stuff has flown through Avery Hobson today, and the ball from Hobbs could not be handled by the back row of Ohio. Bowling Green has doubled up on the Bobcats score, 16-8. A bit puzzling too, a lot of left side attacks for the Falcons. 15 so far from Avery Hobson, as there's a service error against Bowling Green, but we haven't seen Edita Vaswacek so far, Andrew, and she's played very well in the latter half of the season.
Did not see her during the Buffalo series either. She had a little bit of a struggle against Akron, and the Falcons really started seeing success once she was checked out and Bojet kind of took over her position.
Here's Otten, a middle attack from Wilford, off the block and out the side. Helen Wilford doesn't get many kills. When she does, they're more or less like that, off the block. There's a timeout, I believe, called by Kenzie Brinkman, and Ohio 17-9. Bowling Green leads by 8 over number 3 Ohio. This is the quarterfinal and the second quarterfinal of the MAC Volleyball Championship here in the Stroh Center on Falcon Radio.
If you ever miss the Zig Zone on Sundays from 4 to 6 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, or just want to re-listen to the program, each show is posted in full on bgfalconmedia.com with timestamps so you can skip ahead to your favorite part.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Back here from the Stroh Center, Bowling Green with an 8-point lead, approaching 20 points are the Falcons. They lead 17-9 over Ohio in a number 6 versus number 3 matchup. Bowling Green, the 6th seed in this year's MAC Volleyball Championship, but because they won the regular season last year, they were able to host this year, and a rule change by the MAC last year to this year that the regular season champ of the previous year will host. Avery Anders' serve goes around the pin and wide of the sideline, so the Bobcats will take a point back. I don't know, how do you feel about that rule change, Andrew, considering we'll be going to Muncie for the MAC tournament next year?
I think it's a good rule change. The trip to Muncie might be a bit brutal, but honestly, it makes it easier to plan everything out.
Hovey continues to be unstoppable. She gets her 7th attack and her 7th kill of the match.
Yeah, it especially makes it easy when Ohio only has one blocker on her.
Also true.
That's just a kill every time. You're asking for trouble.
I mean, you're asking only Gentry Brown, who's 5'9", to block one of the best hitters in the MAC when she's healthy. Now to the right side, Bailey Blair, who had late blocking, and she pounds it through and past Sydney Hernandez.
And I think that's going to be one of the future best hitters in the MAC. She might not be there yet, but she's freshman of the year for a reason.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you always have to mirror that by saying if she stays in the Mid-American Conference. To the right side, Hovey. Oh my gosh, Lauren Hovey. Goodness.
You can't pick that up. If you're Ohio, you need
I
to.
mean, she had late blockers too.
Yep.
And it's just.
Well, that feed from Otten to Hovey has, at the beginning of last season when they were still kind of getting used to each other, was slow.
She gets an ace on the back end. 20-11 off the Lauren Hovey ace. That's her 3rd ace of the match. And if you didn't know what you were missing through all of MAC play, you know now.
I mean, her connection with Otten has just gotten so much crisper as the years have gone on together. Last season, we kind of saw it come all to fruition, and now it's just second nature.
Set back to Blair. She pokes it wide of the court. A smart play by Blair to read the blockers on her inside hand. She did poke it outside of the court, but a very smart play there.
Yeah,
by a freshman.
A really good play, really intelligent play, yeah. And it just sucks that she misses her mark there, but she's definitely a player that has a bright future, regardless if it's in the MAC or not.
Lauren Hovey with the service error, 21-12, the score now for the Falcons, who look like they're all but going to run away here with the second set. Maybe the match as well, depending on how it goes. Belle Laube in the game for Lauren Hovey. Great friends, Belle Laube and Lauren Hovey, both Canadians, both been here for 4 years in their fourth season. Celebrated senior night 2 weeks ago against Akron. Otten to the left side. Bozic off the block, kept up by Olivia Gardner. She was out there for the block as well. Gentry Brown misses the blockers and sends it wide. Ohio now 6 kills, 6 errors on 20 attacks here in the second set and have an 0.98 hitting percentage.
They're scared of that Otten-Andrews block. They've been avoiding it all game long. You have to attack that block at some point because it's always going to be there.
And the Falcons have only recorded 1 total block and none here in the second set. So eventually you got to make them beat you. Kendall White sets up the right side, won't follow its way through. No touch here from Ohio on the attack from Avery Hobson. The junior transfer from Duquesne.
I'd love to see the Bobcats and then also, in addition to that, Avery Hobson do what Bozic does all the time, which is if she can't get a full swing on the ball, she will just do a hard roll and make sure there's topspin so it can drop in.
Andrews on the slide. Bad set, but tips it over the block, and it falls in for Jessica Andrews. 23-13. Bowling Green maintains a 10-point lead. Andrews now 4 for 6 on the match. Switching back to the middle blocker position, where she's played for 3 years with the Falcons until this season. Poked over, a nice play by Tori Kildo on the left side. Kildo 240 kills in the regular season. Didn't play last year due to injuries, but 71 sets played 2 years ago. Overpass there, joust won by Amanda Otten. It's back to Ohio. Sierra Evans gets the ball over. Back to Bowling Green's Avery Hobson. Hobson's dug out nicely on the back row by Gentry Brown. Olivia Gardner with a right side attack, kept up by the Falcons. Back row attack, Bozic gets a touch and gets the point. It's set point here in the second set, 24-14 with the Falcons leading 1-0. Here's Amanda Otten to serve. She opened the match with her serve from the left side of the court, now serves from the right. Dug out, White sets, Sierra Evans over. Ball back to Bowling Green. Avery Hobson off the block, a touch from Sydney Hernandez to try and keep the ball up, but it falls in. A 9-point lead for Bowling Green, still at set point.
And the Falcons, in all likelihood, going to go up 2-0 in this match. And now it's on OU. How are you going to respond? How are you going to try to get a set win, get back in this match after your backs have been put against the wall by the Falcons?
Yankee to Hobson. Otten back to Hovey. Hovey gets blocked. A solo block on the left side by Tori Kildo. That's the first time they've been able to stop Lauren Hovey today. And the perfect streak falls short.
A great block by Tori Kildo. That was
And again,
beautiful.
just one blocker on Lauren Hovey, though. Otten back to Hovey. They try it again. Hovey overpass out the back of the court on the Bowling Green side. Hovey ends it anyway, 25-16. Bowling Green leads 2-0 over number 3 Ohio in their quarterfinal match and the 2025 MAC Volleyball Tournament. You're listening to the MAC Volleyball Tournament and Bowling Green Volleyball on Falcon Radio.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt U.S. Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Snakes, zombies, sharks, heights, speaking in public. The list of fears is endless. But while you're clutching your blanket in the dark, wondering if that sound in the hall was actually a footstep, the real danger is in your hand, when you're behind the wheel. And while you might think a great white shark is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I taught for 20 years, until I started forgetting my lectures.
Eventually, he had to quit. Getting his early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard, but it gave us time to take control of the situation together.
I can't imagine going through this without him.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Back here in the Stroh Center, Bowling Green with a 2-0 set lead over number 3 Ohio. Bowling Green, the final seed into the MAC tournament, and now that they have Lauren Hovey back, maybe one of the favorites to win it. And, you know, how they played in these first two sets, Andrew, looked pretty good and looks like they can take on any team in the Mid-American Conference.
Yeah, no, with Lauren Hovey back in the lineup and a fully healthy team, they absolutely can. I mean, we talked about them during non-conference play. They were looking like they could beat some ranked opponents with their full healthy lineup. I mean, took Purdue and Georgia Tech to 5 sets. This is a team that can compete at such a high level when they're healthy. And now that Lauren Hovey's back in this lineup, at least for the tournament, they're scary. And even as a 6th seed, you absolutely know that Western Michigan and Ball State have taken notice that Lauren Hovey's back in the lineup.
Don't know if you can say back up to full strength. She does check out here and there for Belle Laube when she rotates to play the back row. I believe that her injury is something to do with her back. I'm not, I don't know the specifics. I'm not a doctor, clearly. That's why I'm on the mic right now and not making a ton of money every year. But keeping her from, having to play too much defense and bending over on the back row. Probably a wise decision for the Falcons that are trying to get her last matches played in the orange and brown, which really would have stunk if she was not able to play the entire second half of the season of her last season of volleyball.
Yeah, she's just. I really feel like they might be keeping her out of the back row. Yes, to limit maybe her, having to bend down, dig balls out, but it might also just be so she's not diving too much for
Also
saves,
true.
because she loves laying out just as much as Hernandez and Anders do. So she's not going to be able to help herself in those situations, and I think they're trying to limit how much she's diving for a ball.
She plays every single aspect of the game so well, but if you can get more swings out of her, which is really what you need out of her, if you get more swings and more serves out of her because she's not playing as much defense, I think if you're Alex Del Piombo, a first-year head coach for Bowling Green, you'll definitely take it. Amanda Otten serves for Bowling Green, the first serve of the third set. Set up by White to the middle. Sierra Evans gets the kill, and Ohio takes the first point.
That's a well-drawn-up play.
It is.
Coming out into the third set for the Bobcats. They knew what they wanted to do. They executed that perfectly. And that gets the point of the board early.
They've been very pin-heavy, not too much working from the middle of the court. Here's Wilford. Wilford with a kill there.
Yeah, speaking of working from the middle of the court.
Yeah, nice set there by Amanda Otten, too. That might have been one of the hardest hit balls all season for Helen Wilford, too. Normally not too big of a swing on him.
She had a couple against Buffalo that I was impressed with that she got more heat on, but you're right, that was definitely one of the harder hit balls she's had all year.
Only 105 this season, but third in the MAC in total blocks with 130 has Helen Wilford. There's a block from the left side for Anastasia Bozic. Back onto Olivia Gardner on the right side, and it falls to the floor off of the white jersey. Maybe a lucky play there by Bozic on that block, but at least she was up there to stuff.
It was a good block. It just probably would have gone out had it not hit off of Olivia Gardner.
Hovey dives to keep the ball alive, but it falls in off of her left hand. Came in off the Bowling Green block as well. 2-2, Falcons and Ohio. Number 6 team versus the number 3 team. Another good read by Avery Anders. She lets a service error go long from Ohio, who are up to 9 now with 4 aces.
But they did not have any service errors in that second set.
They didn't have any aces either.
Good point.
Seems like kind of a pick your poison kind of thing there for Ohio. There's a nice attack from the left side. Tori Kildo puts it through a seam. Maybe a touch from Bowling Green, but it landed in the corner anyway. Keeps it a 3-3 game.
And Ohio playing with a little bit more of their identity. They have a fast pace. Because they're undersized, they have a very fast-paced offense. And they're showing a little bit of that quicker pace here, trying to ramp up the intensity.
Yeah, a lot of heavy arms for Bowling Green, a lot of light arms, although still powerful for Ohio. Anders digs it up, bump set from Otten to the left side. Bozic off the hands, long, out of the back of the court. Bowling Green takes a 4-3 lead, and a nice tool play there by Anastasia Bozic.
And Bozic, that's her biggest strength, is going off the fingertips of the blockers and getting kills long like that. Does it so often. She knows she can't jump as high necessarily as the blockers can, so she takes advantage in other ways.
Here's Hovey to serve, a jump serve. Oh, long of the backcourt. Pretty close, but definitely long. Tied back up at 4. 3 defensive specialists and Anastasia Bozic on the back row for Bowling Green, and only Amanda Otten and Jessica Anders on the front court. Not a lot of offense out there for Bowling Green. We'll see how they run it. It's Otten to the middle. Anders pokes it over, and it found the floor anyway. Only one pure hitter on the floor for Bowling Green, and they're still able to come away with the point. Bozic serves for Bowling Green. Back to the right side, Bailey Blair. Her ball is kept up, and it's dumped over from the Falcons. Nice play by the orange and brown to keep the ball alive. Here's Emily Waddle. She takes steps toward the right side from the middle of the court and fires it down on the 3-meter line. She got like that weird slide move there. She standing on like more of the left side and sliding toward the middle.
Yeah, instead of coming like vertically to that, she's running parallel to it and then generating her power off that.
Poked
it's
over.
Interesting, but it's working.
Poked over by Andrews. Blair with an attack off the block. Back to Ohio. Gentry Brown dinks it over. Otten to the left side. Hobson off the block and down. Avery Hobson from the left pin. It's her 5th kill of the match. on almost her 20th swing. Jessica Andrews goes back to serve. Amazingly enough, you know, you look to Andrews, who hasn't served consistently but has served well. 13 aces, 10 errors this season. Coming into today's match, she only had 17 in her career with Bowling Green before, you know, coming into this match. So only 4 aces the first 3 seasons and a service error now to Andrews, but
they've been turning to her a lot to go from the service line, especially ever since she's been on that right side, and it's worked out.
Hernandez dives to keep the ball alive. Bozic just the same mid-court, and the Falcons dump it back over. Here's a set from White. Back to Gardner. Gardner from the right side. It falls in. Olivia Gardner had pretty much no blockers there and a free swing to find open space on the floor. She's got 5 kills, which leads the Bobcats. 1 more than Bailey Blair. Hobson, her attack kept alive by White diving. Here's Gardner, rolls it in, kept alive by Bozic. Tipped back over by Amanda Otten. 2 wild touches for the Falcons, and Otten completes the play.
Really 3 wild touches for the Falcons. Never should have really gotten the point there, but a great heads-up play by Amanda Otten to tip that one over and down.
Bozic caught the ball with her fingernails off of the floor. Hernandez kept it off the Terraflex, and I mean, not too much of a skill play, but some luck to the Falcons as this one off of Wilfred's block and down on the Bowling Green side. 8-7, Ohio leads Bowling Green.
It feels like the Bobcats have taken control, maybe not completely from the Falcons, but are controlling their half of the court at least and controlling what they can do to win, whereas their errors were dictating that in the first 2 sets.
Service error to Ohio. Their 10th of the match and only the 3rd set. The Falcons tied 8-8, leading 2-0 with number 3 Ohio. Whichever team wins will go on to play Western Michigan, the number 2 seed, tomorrow at 7 p.m. And then the winner of that game goes on to play either Ball State or Toledo, who will play in the MAC title match at 4 p.m. on Sunday. All those games broadcast by the Falcon Media Sports Network on Falcon Radio. Here's Hovey off the block, out the back of the court.
And a beautiful assist from Bozic from cross court. A great set by her. Really, you just put it up and Lauren Hovey will probably
she'll get under it. 10 for 11 is Lauren Hovey with 1 attack error on the only block for Ohio against Lauren Hovey. Service error is said to go long, and I believe a challenge will be used by first-year head coach Alex Del Piombo. Both head coaches coaching in their first MAC tournament matches.
As head coach.
As head coach, I should reiterate. Yes. Alex Del Piombo spent 2016 to 2024 as an assistant and associate coach of Bowling Green Volleyball, and I think within 2 hours of Daniela Tomic announcing she will take the job at Cincinnati, Alex Del Piombo was named head coach of Bowling Green Volleyball by Derek Vandermeer.
And Kenzie Brinkman also was the assistant coach for the Bobcats, and then was officially named the official head coach after being an interim head coach all of this season. I think it was yesterday or maybe it was the day before that she was named officially head coach for next season and onward.
Was an assistant coach from 2022 to 2024. Before that was an assistant at Army from 2020 to 2021. Bowling Green loses the point on the long serve, so an unsuccessful challenge from Del Piombo. It's a rare miss by Del Piombo. I feel like she doesn't challenge too often where she doesn't win the challenge.
She tried.
It's kind of an underrated quality of a head coach to be able to challenge successfully.
She also a lot of times, I think, still believes, and I think this is probably true of a lot of head coaches, still believe they're right even after their challenge doesn't go their way.
Oh, I think every head coach believes that.
Yeah.
The point is washed away off of the challenge because Ohio gives another service error. It's 4 aces to 11 errors now for Ohio. Bowling Green's got 8 as well. It's been filled with service errors today. White sets the left side. It's blocked by Bowling Green. Kildo with a try. 4 touches by Ohio. Needed to get the ball back over the net, and they never do. 11-9.
I don't believe that was 4 touches. I think Kildo, because she no, it was not Kilda. It was Weddell that she swung on the ball. It went off the top of the net, and then she touched it again off her own mistake, and so it was a double on her. Doesn't end up mattering, though, because that just went into the net.
Yeah, service errors have been a huge theme. And at least if you're Ohio, it's kind of evened out now. You're only leading in service errors by 2. Bowling Green's given 9 points to Ohio directly on serves. Here's Bozic to Otten. Otten a bump set to Bozic, who has to hit from outside of the court. It's blocked. Yankee keeps it up. Bump set from Darby Ricketts is knocked back over by Bowling Green, and the Falcons will take the point.
There's a good block from the Falcons. Didn't go back down, but that's a good block by them, and forced a double touch from the Bobcats to get the Falcons a 2-point lead here.
From the right side of the court, serves Lauren Hovey. 3 aces so far. A nice serve dug out by Ricketts. Wearing a different colored jersey for Ohio, signifying the libero. To the left side, Bozic. Dug out by Brown. An overpass attack twice by Jessica Andrews. And she got it to fall. Was kind of worried there for a second that she might have hit the net on the way down, but must have been the ball. She had 2 overpass tries, and on the second capitalized.
Yeah. 1 for practice, and 2 was the real deal.
And this challenge going to be used?
Probably for, like you said, Ben, just Andrews hitting the net.
Attack percentage for Bowling Green stands as pretty good overall, 365. Hitting percentage throughout the match, 583 here in the third set. 7 for 12 is Bowling Green with no attack errors yet. 13-10 they lead. And have 31 kills. Have yet to reach double-digit attack errors. And have 63 total attacks. First hit by Andrews is clean. Second hit, I don't know if she touched the net. I think the ball hit the tape. And the follow-through with her hand doesn't look to have touched the net. So at risk of the third time today, Andrew, I think this call is going to stand as a point to BG.
Yep. Have they changed the call yet? I don't think so. Have.
And who are we to say they're wrong for not doing so? They get to look at it. That was a pretty quick challenge, though.
Yep.
The point stands to Jessica Andrews, who's got 6 kills on 10 attacks, a solo block, and 2 blocking assists as well for Andrews, who's contributed 2 of Bowling Green's 4 total blocks today. Set up for Ohio. Waddle again. Puts it past Hovey and Hernandez on the back row. Ohio takes the point back. Emily Waddle's kind of been the go-to for Ohio today, amazingly enough, Andrew, considering you have the freshman of the year, Bailey Blair.
Yeah, but Waddell so far has been the better player, and if you're seeing someone playing better, you're going to ride the hot hand.
Here's Andrews on the slide. Number 7 nails it down, 14-11 on a big swing by the senior middle blocker.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean,
what a swing. I mean,
what do you say anymore
you
now?
Can't put that into words. That just
a
thunderous attack.
A heavy arm from Andrews, a heavy arm from Hovey. A great arm by Avery Hobson, who takes the swing here. Uses it off the block, but it's kept up by Ricketts. Now to the right wing, Bailey Blair tries to poke it down the line. Back to Bowling Green. Andrews tips it in. It doesn't fall down. Blair, another swing. Off the block, out the side of Ohio's court. Off of the Bowling Green hands. But a nice block there by Bowling Green, who's done better blocking the last couple of sets, Andrew.
Yeah, they got better hands on the ball, pressing over the net a little bit more, unable to get that one down, a little unlucky. Spin on that ball was too much, went out of bounds.
A beautiful serve by Emily Waddle, the middle blocker. 30 aces coming into the match today. She's got 2. Waddle serves again to Hernandez. Otten to the left side. Hobson's blocked back on Hobson's arms. And a point back to Ohio. They tie it up 14-all.
Hobson struggling right now. You got to get her going somehow.
5 kills on 22 attacks, 7 errors for the junior outside hitter. Here's Yankee. Won't land, back to Bowling Green, who dumps it back over. Set from Yankee again. To the left side, Gentry Brown fires it through. 15-14, Ohio takes the lead at the media timeout. Kenzie Brinkman's team leads by 1, but trails 2 sets here, and what could be their final match of the season, barring a 3-set comeback. You're listening to the 2025 MAC Volleyball Championship from the Stroh Center on Falcon Radio.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com. Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics. Only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Back here in the Stroh Center, 15-14. Ohio leads Bowling Green here in the 3rd set, but the Falcons lead 2-0 over Ohio on the match. Ben Korak here with Andrew Smith from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Andrew and I will have the call of 2 matches tomorrow and a championship match Sunday for the 2025 MAC Volleyball Tournament. So we'll be here to walk you through the victor this weekend in the 6-team tournament. And Bowling Green, the 6th seed, leading 2-0 over the 3-seed Ohio. Here's a nice kind of setter dump kind of attack from Amanda Otten. Doesn't matter what it is, she gets the kill, and it's a beautiful one from the junior setter.
She's been doing a great job of that this season, recognizing balls getting close to the net. Can't really turn this into a good set, so instead I'm just going to attack out of it and puts it right down on the Bobcat side of the court.
Service error against the Falcons. Point will go back to Ohio, and they lead still by 1.
And this is a scrappy Bobcats team. It's a team that can flip sets and can flip matches in their favor. So by no means are they out of it. There's a reason the scores get reset to 0 after every set, and a reverse sweep is always possible. The Falcons have been reverse swept so this season twice.
Senior setter Kendall White serves. Here's Avery Hobson, who didn't have too much mustard on that attack, but this one from Olivia Gardner on the right wing does. Puts it past Belle Laube, and a 2-point lead for Ohio. I believe that's their biggest of the match. Gardner's been pretty much the go-to arm on that right side for Ohio. Service error against Ohio. Lauren Hovey back in the match for Bowling Green. But Gardner's got 6 kills on 14 attacks. Bailey Blair, they've tried more, but 5 kills on 21 attacks and 7 errors for a player that was All-MAC first team, All-MAC freshman team, and MAC freshman of the year. White sets up the left side. Gentry Brown is blocked deep. It's kept alive by Ohio, but they get it over. Second touch attack from Helen Wilford. Poked back by Ohio. Otten now sets to the left side. Hobson trying to get her activated, but it's peeled up by Ohio again. Gardner tips it over. Hernandez walks in to make the save. Hobson another attack and can't get it over the net. She had a very sharp angle and tough feet to try and get it over the net while not hitting the pin. from the left side.
She's just not having her type of game. She played so phenomenally in that Buffalo series, but tonight is just not her night.
And she takes a reception error there to boot. 19-16, Bowling Green has to call a timeout as Ohio's taken a 3-point lead. Bowling Green really in no true danger yet. You could drop the set, no harm, no foul, but more concerned about giving the Bobcats momentum going into the second set. We did have a reverse sweep on the road against the Falcons by Western Michigan and a heartbreaking loss. You were there, Andrew.
Yeah, it seemed like they lost control, or actually really never quite had it. It felt like they weren't winning on their own attacks and were rather winning off of Western not being able to get into their usual groove. And then once they did, the Falcons had no way of stopping it and couldn't get anything down offensively. Western was just picking everything up. This Bobcats team, though, not a squad that is necessarily going to pick everything up. They're 9th in digs in the MAC with 13.82%, whereas Western is the best digging team in the MAC. So if the Falcons can keep their offense going, I expect them to come away with a victory, being up 2-0. But you got to figure out, for me, the Avery Hobson situation. Do you take her out of the back row? Do you limit the attack she's getting? How do you get her out of this funk?
She is pressed up against the left wing. Bozic looks like she might take over a serve to Hobson if Gentry Brown serves there. Brown does serve there. Hobson can't dig it out cleanly. Hernandez from behind her back line is dumped over by Bowling Green. Free play to Ohio. Here's Gardner. Gardner's block. Brown keeps it up to the left side now. Rolled over is Maddie Long. Otten to Hovey. Hovey is kept up in the air. Tall order for Ohio to get it back over the net, but they do. Now back to Otten. Back to Hovey. Hovey gets blocked. Keeps the ball up in the air off of that block by Sierra Evans, who is the main offender. White sets to the middle. Sierra Evans is kept up by Hovey, but it falls inside of the donut of Falcons. And a 4-point lead now for Ohio. And now Edita Vaswacek will check in for Avery Hobson. First time we've seen her since the Akron series.
That change probably should have happened earlier.
She digs it out. Edita Vaswacek does. Hovey goes off of the block and out the side. A big dig there for Edita Vaswacek. Her first play in the game gets targeted. And a beautiful setup to Otten, a beautiful setup to Hovey.
And Hovey just powered through that block.
You know,
disregarded it.
You know, Bowling Green's firing at a good rate when they're doing that on 3 touches.
Yeah.
When they're getting good first balls and second balls, and then you have too many hitters to not be able to find the floor more times than you don't. From the left side, Long with the attack, and the freshman Maddie Long forces it through. Off the block and out the side. Bowling Green's got 4 total blocks today. A lot of slowdowns, but a lot of kills from Ohio coming off of the Falcon block. Otten has to bump set to Bozic, who just dumps it over with a bump. White up, now dumped over from Ohio. Play back to the Falcons. Hovey with the tip, and it falls in. Lauren Hovey with her 12th in 16 attacks.
She's playing her game. She's playing what she's comfortable doing. She goes for the tip there, recognizing the Bobcats getting close to her and closer to the pin as the match has gone on, and this time just tips it over their head and gets a kill that way.
Tipped back over. Oh my gosh. Kendall White let the ball go over her head and it fell over the net. Bowling Green was expecting a touch probably, but you still probably have to play the ball there.
You have to be ready for that. It's just a silly mistake to make at this point in the match.
22-18. Ohio leads. Alex Del Piombo takes the timeout. We'll take a quick step back as the Falcons need 4 in a row to tie Ohio as they try and come away with a sweep in their quarterfinal match of the MAC Volleyball Tournament here in the Stroh Center. You're listening to Falcon Volleyball on Falcon Radio.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com. Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Back here in the Stroh Center, 22-18. Ohio leads Bowling Green by 4, but trails in sets by 2. Bowling Green with a 4-point deficit, threatening to come away with a sweep here if they can turn it back around. Otten sets back to Hovey. Number 14 can't get it to fall on her side of the net. Maddie Long is dug out beautifully by Bozic, high in the air. Otten sets up Bozic off the block, kept up by Maddie Long. Ball back to Long on the left side, blocked by Hovey and Andrews. It's back up to Ohio that gets it over on 3. Otten back to Hovey again. Hovey pokes it cross court. Is back to Ohio, and a touch from the Falcons. Looked like that was Kendall White, the setter, that took pretty much a full swing on the ball from the right side and got the touch even though she missed the court.
Very clutch plays coming out of Kendall White late in this third set, trying to keep her team in the match.
Dug out by Bozic. Here's Otten to Andrews. Andrews flips it in. She was more on the left side of the middle of the Falcon court. Back up to a 4-point game here.
The Falcons have to string a couple points together here, otherwise they're going to lose this third set. I mean, not the end of the world. You can come back and you can win the fourth set, but you'd like to put the Bobcats away in 3 because they're a team that'll scrap and try to get more and try to force that 5th set.
Hovey serves, dug out by Ricketts. A bit of an overpass, flipping it over her shoulder is Kendall White, and she'll get the kill. Looked like it hit the line. And it's a set point for Ohio. Bowling Green needs 5 in a row, but really no harm done here in the third set. They lead 2-0. Here's serving is Maddie Long, dug out by Anders. Otten to the left side, Bozic gets blocked. Andrews keeps it up. Here's Hernandez. Pushed off the block by Hovey. 3 touches and over for Bowling Green. Reset. Kendall White on the slide is Waddle, and Waddle fires it through just in front of Sydney Hernandez. 25-19, the final score of the third set. And 2-1 is the lead now for number 6 Bowling Green against number 3 Ohio here at the 2025 MAC Volleyball Championship quarterfinal. You're listening to Falcon Volleyball on Falcon Radio.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
You wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back here from the Stroh Center, the 2025 MAC Volleyball Championship, and the Falcon Media Sports Network will cover it all weekend this week. We had the broadcast here on Falcon Radio of Toledo, Miami. Toledo won in 5 sets. Right now, Bowling Green and Ohio, the number 3 versus number 6 matchup. Number 6 Bowling Green leading 2-1 over Ohio here at their home arena. Tomorrow we'll have Toledo and Ball State at 4 p.m. We'll have the winner of this game versus Western Michigan at 7 p.m. And then on Sunday at 4, we have the MAC Championship match between either Ball State and Toledo or the winner of this game and Western Michigan. Still a lot can go on in today's goings-on. Technically, the higher seed has won every match so far, but it's only been one, and it's been Toledo who, honestly, Andrew, Miami dominated that match for most of it, or at least it felt like they were going to come away with the win. And Toledo, with late success, kind of just scrapped it out.
I mean, it didn't really feel that way entirely just because of how dominant Toledo was in that second set. But it did seem that Miami was playing Toledo better than Toledo was playing Miami. Toledo wasn't playing to their strengths as much, and then they kind of put everything together in that 5th set. That 4th set was very, very close, and then it just kind of seemed like Miami fell on their own sword, so to speak. They just made mistakes that they didn't typically make throughout the season, and Toledo played to their strengths and won that one. Just a great game all around, though. Miami played phenomenal, just not at the very end.
Bowling Green in that 3rd set both out-hit Ohio and also out-blocked Ohio, and yet did not come away with the win. Here's an attack from Wilford, center court, and she puts it past Bryn Yonke.
Heads-up play by Wilford to jump for that ball after Hobson got blocked.
Helen Wilford's got 4 kills. One of the better matches that she's played offensively. Gets used in rare spots, but still plays quite effectively for the Falcons. Gentry Brown, her attack, dug out by Anders, but it's well out of the realm of playable for Bowling Green. So an attack and a kill there for Gentry Brown. She's been a stable attacker for Ohio, both all season, Andrew, and also today, 7 kills for the match lead for Ohio.
Yeah, she's having herself a great game. She's a very steady player, is undersized, but just makes up for it with her speed and with her jumping ability. And speaking of somebody that's undersized, Anastasia Bojid with a beautiful swing there, putting that one down.
Sydney Hernandez back to serve for Bowling Green on the left side of the court. 2-1. The Falcons lead Ohio. Ricketts sets up Kildow, and she can't get it to land. Here's Andrews with a swing from the middle of court. And an odd play there defensively by Ohio, but it falls its way down and in. Hernandez serves again. A lot of what happens off of Sydney Hernandez serves isn't ace to error. A lot of it is just a very nice serve that results in out of system for Ohio or out of system for a lot of teams. She does so well with her serve game, not just at getting points or losing points, and just affecting the way the game is played by the other side.
The Falcons in control here early, but the Bobcats, if they can get it going like they did last time, which that doesn't help as Sydney Hernandez gets a no-touch service ace. A great job by her. She had 2 games against Buffalo with 3+ service aces, had 4 in the first day, 3 in the second. She's had 7 games this season with 3+ service aces.
4 straight matches played with an ace as well. Here's a block for the Falcons, but wide of the sideline in Ohio's court. 4-2, Bowling Green leads. If you're the Falcons, you really don't want to go to 5, which makes this set very important. It's a must-win for Ohio, but you don't want to risk a 15-point set. There's Jessica Andrews in the middle to fire it down in front of Bryn Yonke and Gentry Brown.
Yeah, if you're the Falcons, you can't put this to 5 because a team like the Bobcats, a lot of teams in the MAC actually, if they are on the trajectory of getting that reverse sweep, obviously they carry that momentum over and just are able to win that 5th set.
Yonke sets up right side. Gardner can't get it to land. It's poked over by Amanda Otten. It's off of Ohio, off the pin, out of the sideline. Amanda Otten called it right away. 6-2. Bowling Green leads. Just a miscue there for Ohio as well, but a joust that tight end with the pin. Somebody's bound to hit the pin eventually. Serve coming from Lauren Hovey. Dug out by Ricketts. Bump from behind the 3-meter line to the left side. Off the block goes Kildo. That was Andrews and Otten, maybe one of the best blocking duos in the Mid-American Conference when they're together.
Yeah, but they just weren't tight enough to the net there, especially not Andrews. Went off her arm, and she was just really far off the net, and that's going to be the result every time in that situation.
Anders digs it out. Back set to Andrews. Andrews' block ball back to Bowling Green, so they get another try. Here's Bozic from the left side. Dug out by Ricketts. It's back in Ohio State backcourt. Now to the left side, Kildo, and she just dumps it over. 3 in a row for Bowling Green. Bozic another one. She tips it off the block. Waddle keeps it up. Here's Bailey Blair, her first in a while, and Bailey Blair knocks it through. The MAC Freshman of the Year, bringing Ohio within 2.
That was an absolute rip by Blair. A great spot by her, ripping it down the seam, going over top of Bozic.
Point goes to Bowling Green as the ball goes long at the back service line. And going back to serve is Anastasia Bozic. Bozic has a service error. No aces today. 5 aces for the Falcons, 3 of them for Lauren Hovey, 1 from Jessica Andrews and 1 from Sydney Hernandez, the best 3 servers on the team for my money. Kendall White to the middle. Waddle's kept up by Hernandez, and it falls in front of Bozic and Hobson. They would have crushed each other trying to go for that ball, and both let it fall.
Got to communicate better in the back row, simple as that. That was just a communication error there between the two of them. Didn't talk to one another. Nobody grabbed it.
Hernandez pulls it up. Otten sets it up. Hobson from the left side. A nice swing. That's maybe her best of the day, but doesn't find its way through. And Blair wipes the play off the block. Outside hand of Avery Hobson.
The blocking has to be better by Bowling Green. They're getting tooled left and right.
Otten keeps it up. Bowling Green has to dump the ball over. Bit of an overpass. White sets up. Blocked is Blair. Now to the left side for Ohio. Gentry Brown rolls it over. Here's Otten for an attack. Ricketts read it like a book. Ball back up in the air. Gentry Brown, another one. Fired it wide. No touch from the Falcons. Bowling Green leads 8-6. Jessica Andrews back to serve for Bowling Green. Wearing number 7 for the Falcons, playing in her final season. She gets her second ace of the game and her 15th of the season. Andrews will try it again. The middle blocker for Bowling Green, back at her natural position. Another one, into the official and just long. Tried the other side of the court there, did Andrews. Back to serve is another middle blocker, this time from Ohio. It's Emily Waddle. Amanda Otten tries to dump it into the middle. A diving play by Waddle to keep the ball alive. A well-defending middle blocker. Here's Wilford who rolls it back over. White sets back, right side. Blair knocks it down front of Anastasia Bozic. Bailey Blair has come alive the last couple of points. She's now the match leader in kills after being pretty quiet the last 3 sets. And there's a service ace coming from Emily Waddle. Waddle will try it again. That's her 3rd ace of the match. It's only 1 error. Tries it again. Bozic Otten to the middle. Wilford. Her attack is knocked down on her side of the court by Maddie Long. The freshman had to make a diving attempt.
Good job by Otten getting a reset with Wilford up the middle and an unbelievable swing by Blair earlier. I mean, that one was ripped. It looked like one of Jessica Andrews or Lauren Hovey's swings. It just looks like it's coming off the hand different of one of those hitters.
Sierra Evans dug out by Otten. The set from Wilford, and Hovey can't flip it over the net. Ohio tied it up 10-10 on that. I don't know what you would even rule that, an attacking error against Hovey?
I think so.
They ruled it a setting error against Helen Wilford.
How many times are you going to see a setting error for a middle blocker?
Yeah, very rarely. The fact that she even got a set off is good. There's a service error against Ohio. 7-14 the ratio now. 1-2 the ace to error ratio for Ohio, which is something you're not going to be able to hang your hat on after today.
No. As opposed to BG, who's got 6 aces to 11 errors.
Avery Anders back left of the Bowling Green court to serve. 11-10. Bowling Green leads 2-1 as well. Anders serves wide of the sideline. It's back up to 11-11. Gentry Brown serves for Ohio. Dug out by Hernandez. Otten set from behind the 3-meter line. To the right side. Hovey nails it down. Lauren Hovey brings the Falcons back in front. 13 for 19 is Lauren Hovey. And her return to the Falcons, first match played since Ball State about 6 weeks ago now. She's got the most points in the match with 16.5. Here's Gardner, a nice swing from the right side. Bowling Green gets a swing from that same side, the left side of the Bowling Green court. Back to Gardner, who will post it over. Otten to a bump set for Anders. Hovey off the block, kept up and alive by Ricketts. Back to Gardner on the right side of Ohio's court. Otten has to dump it over. Free play back to Ohio. Yankee to the left side. Kildo can't get it over. Free play to the Falcons now. Hovey, another swing. Down the line. Off of a tip. Stayed inside the sideline. And Bowling Green takes a 2-point lead now off of Lauren Hovey.
I think Coach Brinkman would have immediately challenged that had Kildo not told her that it caught her elbow.
Service error there to Sydney Hernandez. 13th of the match for Bowling Green. As they have a worse ratio than Ohio. They're 6 aces to 13 errors. Ohio 7 aces to 14 errors. This one's neither for the Ohio serve. Otten back to Hovey. Hovey pokes it to the backcourt, but it's saved by Yankee. Now Kildo is blocked. There's Jessica Andrews.
And that's what you expect out of the BG block. The blocking needs to step up. If it does, the Falcons will most likely put the Bobcats away. But as it stands right now, the Bobcats have just been tooling the Falcons or getting it by them.
Hovey to serve, 3 aces. Kept alive by Ohio, and it's flung into the net. On the attack by Gardner out of proper formation. 15-12. Bowling Green leads Ohio here in the 4th set. Bowling Green leads 2-1 over number 3 Ohio as well. Number 6 Bowling Green here on Falcon Radio.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU Student Media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back here in the Stroh Center, 15-12. Bowling Green leads by 3 after this match is over between Bowling Green and Ohio, our second and final quarterfinal match of the 2025 MAC Volleyball Tournament. Lucas Kleinmeyer will have the call. Bowling Green versus UC Irvine. It's University of California. Irvine from Alaska, where Lucas Kleinmeyer is with the women's basketball team right now. The game will be on Falcon Radio immediately after the conclusion of this game. If Australia is the land down under, then Alaska must be the land up over, I guess, and that's where Lucas Kleinmeyer is. Got to do some cool stuff in Alaska while he's up there, and he might tell you about it on the broadcast. The point is to Bowling Green off of an attack that's off the net and wide of the sideline. Bowling Green's lead is 4 now.
Anastasia Bozhit, really, really happy that she didn't accidentally touch that ball there, or rather that she missed the ball when she was trying to hit it.
Hovey serves again. Yankee sets up the middle. Waddle finds the seam and throws it down. She gets so high. And she's just able to see the open spots of the court. She did there.
Absolutely has springs and just bounces up there and finds an open spot in the court. Sitting Hernandez a little bit out of position there, taking advantage.
Bozic to Otten. Otten back on the right side to Andrews. And the point against Ohio. A net violation, it looks like. 17-13, BG leads. Anastasia Bozic back to serve for Bowling Green.
Well, after all my interviews with Coach Chelsea Carter of the Falcons so far this season, I know what she's going to say. Whether or not Bowling Green wins this game, she's going to talk about the mistakes made by the back row, and she's going to talk about the mistakes made from the service line for the Falcons.
Ball tipped over by Ohio, a point toward the Bobcats. They trail by 3 now. We may or may not have an interview with Chelsea Carter after the game today because Lucas Kleinmeyer's game, women's basketball, starts at 9:15. So unless we're way over the time that Lucas's game starts, we might forego Chelsea Carter today and hope that we talk to her after a win tomorrow. 18-14, Bowling Green leads 4, approaching the 20-point mark. Jessica Andrews dug out by Gentry Brown. Back to Gentry Brown on the set from the right side, blocked by Bowling Green, and it's wide at the court, off of Helen Wilford. So the ball last touched by Bowling Green. The point will go to the Bobcats. Kills tied even at 45 all, but 11 more errors for Ohio. On about 13 more attacks gives them a way lower hitting percentage. Point back to Ohio there on attack error by Avery Hobson. Hobson digs out the serve. Otten back sets. Hovey. Oh, from deep, Lauren Hovey.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautifully executed by both Otten and Hovey, and it cannot be understated how nice of a reception that was by Avery Hobson. She's been struggling so far this game, not just from there, but with her hitting. And when you're struggling hitting, you can obviously overlook things like that, but that was a good dig by her.
Great dig by Amanda Otten to keep Sierra Evans' attack alive. And this falls in. Lauren Hovey from the right side again. Miscommunication on the back row by Ohio. Nobody on the front row picked up the keep alive, and 20-16, Bowling Green leads the Bobcats. We'll take a step back here as a timeout is called by Kenzie Brinkman, the new head coach of Ohio. You're listening to the MAC tournament here on Falcon Radio.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
20-16, number 6 Bowling Green leads number 3 Ohio. Winner goes on to play Western Michigan tomorrow, the number 2 team in this Mid-American Conference tournament this season. Ben Korak here with Andrew Smith from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Might have to jump off air real quick. Lucas Kleinmeyer ready to jump on the air with women's basketball against University of California, Irvine. Up in Alaska, you'll have the broadcast for that here on Falcon Radio. Bailey Blair with an attack. Off of the block, kept up by Bowling Green. Otten back to the right side. Hovey had too much of a lane, and she drives right through it.
I mean, I'm just thinking back to games last season, especially later down the road in those MAC games. Who do the Falcons always turn to? We need a kill in this situation. You go to Lauren Hovey, and that's what they've done this entire last set.
Here's Kendall White to the right side. Bailey Blair down the line, misses the court wide. 22-16.
That's something I've noticed about younger hitters is that they struggle with the line shot. That's something that's kind of developed over the years, and Blair is one of those.
Joust at the net. And jumping up was Kendall White against Helen Wilford. Wilford won the joust. And Brinkman will not use the challenge.
I don't even
so
think.
White thought she hit the net. So it's going to be clean.
I think what it was is White got called for reaching over, which is
odd call.
Strange. Yeah.
Hobson from the left side. Off the block. Avery Hobson gives Bowling Green a match point here in the 2025 MAC Tournament quarterfinal. Amanda Otten started the game with her serve. She could finish the game with her serve as well from the right side of the court. Dug out here. Bowling Green fans on their feet. Bailey Blair puts it on a nice cross-court shot past the Falcons and will at least play another point. The lead is 7 for Bowling Green, though.
And they're going to have to receive a tough serve here from Bryn Yankee. But up like this, you got to think the Falcons are going to put this one away.
Yankee 2 aces, 3 errors. Bozic digs it out. Otten sets up Hovey. Hovey off the block, kept up by Sierra Evans, tipped back over to the Falcons. Bump set for Hernandez. To Hovey on the right side. Off the block and down! Lauren Hovey ends it for her 18th kill of the match. And the Falcons win in the 2025 MAC Tournament quarterfinal. 3-1.
What a fitting ending to this match. Lauren Hovey makes her return and doesn't miss a beat and gets the final kill to put away the Bobcats.
25-17, the final set. won by Bowling Green. They won 3-1 twice this season. The first match of the MAC season here in the Stroh Center, and now the most recent and the victory today. They go on to play Western Michigan tomorrow in the semifinal. Back-to-back seasons playing Western Michigan in the semifinal. We'll be back here to the Stroh Center in just a little bit, hopefully for an interview with assistant coach Chelsea Carter. You're listening to Falcon Volleyball on Falcon Radio.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Snakes, zombies, sharks, heights, speaking in public. The list of fears is endless. But while you're clutching your blanket in the dark, wondering if that sound in the hall was actually a footstep, the real danger is in your hand, when you're behind the wheel. And while you might think a great white shark is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
BGSU women's basketball takes on Purdue Fort Wayne in the Stroh Center on Sunday, November 30th. Listen into the broadcast with the pregame show from Artie Abrego and Sam Bork beginning at 1:35 p.m. and the broadcast from Lucas Kleinmeyer and Adam Duffin from tip-off at 2 o'clock p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Here in the Stroh Center, 3-1. Bowling Green wins over number 3 Ohio here in the quarterfinal of the 2025 MAC tournament. Now we're joined by assistant coach of Bowling Green volleyball, Chelsea Carter. Chelsea, won your first MAC tournament win as a Falcon. How does that feel today?
Feels great.
Feeling of getting a win today.
Oh, it was feeling great being at home, having our home crowd here, having the Terraflex out. The ladies love it. It was just an environment that you love to play in, and for it being my first experience, I can only imagine how tomorrow's going to be. So looking forward to that. Definitely
be electric against Western Michigan tomorrow, the number 2 team. You looked at today, the biggest storyline coming out of today is Lauren Hovey, her return, and she played fantastic, getting a lot of sets from you guys. Looked like she didn't really miss a beat back attacking. How great was that to see her on the right
it was great to have her back. At one point, we were kind of like looking at Amanda, we were like, why aren't you setting her? And she was hitting 1,000. And we were like, is she trying to help her have like a perfect game? But then we're like, hey, give her the ball. Let her feel this out. It's her first game back. Give her the ball. So, and she still ended up hitting on the night. Let's see. She hit 630. It's incredible. She's an amazing volleyball player. We actually did a lot of work this week working on her arm swing to help with her injury and making sure that we can take care of her body through the next 3 days, because she's been chomping at the bit to get back and wanting to be able to be with these ladies through and through in this MAC tournament.
How different was the field today, especially having, another arm on the floor, Jessica Andrews back at the middle spot? Just how did you feel Amanda was able to do it at diversifying the ball today?
I mean, she was able to find Jessica 17 times, which is more than we found in middle in the last couple of games. So I think that also goes to our passing and our defense. Yeah. Shout out to the Nugs. However, we got to be able to find Jess a little bit more. We're a little shaky in set 3. We only sighted out at 62%. So when we were sighting out at average is 70. So, yeah, we got to be able to keep finding the ball to Jess and Lauren. They really picked it up tonight because Hobbs and AJ, they were kind of struggling a little bit. We knew Ohio was going to go into a 6-2 for defensive reasons versus us because our pins are very strong. So they kind of slowed them down at the beginning, got some blocks early, dug them early, so that kind of frustrated AJ and Hobbs. They worked through it. We got the win. But if I'm Western Michigan, I'm watching that and seeing how I can frustrate them again.
Yeah, number 2, Western Michigan tomorrow. A team that 2 matches earlier on in the season felt like could have been 2 wins and 2 5-set losses. So how much revenge are you guys looking for tomorrow, and big keys for you guys taking a match win tomorrow?
Oh, I mean, they hear 13-11 up in the 5th set a lot. We were up 13-11 in the 5th set at Western Michigan. They hear it a lot. We've done mini games doing that in practice. We make the score that a lot. So I'm going to say they're pretty hungry for it.
Yeah, Chelsea, great win today. Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks, man. Aye, Ziggy.
We will quickly send it back to the Falcon Radio studio where we will await the call of Lucas Kleinmeyer and his call from Alaska of women's basketball up against UC Irvine from Anchorage, Alaska. Thank you for listening to the quarterfinal of the Mid-American Conference 2025 Volleyball MAC Tournament. And tomorrow we'll